It looks like Black Friday at Target stores around the country last week. On Tuesday, the retailer caused a shopping frenzy when it started selling a limited line of Missoni products. The craze reached beyond the stores. Online shoppers crashed Target's website several times throughout the day. It's a problem shoppers may see more of, especially as holiday shopping season gets closer. Stores are starting to scale back on their inventory, and that means it may be harder for you to get your hands on the most popular items. How you can avoid the hassle? We're joined by SmartMoney.com senior consumer reporter Kelli Grant. Kelli, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So you know all too well about all of this, especially with the weekend and week that you had last week.
I was there on Tuesday.
Right.
I got to see firsthand the craziness.
Just tell me about it before we get going.
It was very much like Black Friday. You had people lining up, then they mobbed the doors as the gates went up and running, grabbing everything.
But it's a rush to do this too. You know, a lot of folks, they do it because they just love to get out there and it's something crazy to do. 5 things, though, that you say to maybe avoid the hassle. 1, pay attention to demand. What do you mean?
Well, yes. I mean, for this, of course, Missoni, this was a line that magazines were hyping. Everything was very hyped. So if you're hearing about something that, you know, there's a lot of buzz surrounding it, or even just, you know, your kid's already talking about this toy that they really want for Christmas, it pays to pay attention for that because retailers are really scaling back how much stuff that they're carrying this year. They know that the economy is bad. We're not going to be buying as much. You might have a harder time buying it. So you want to be paying attention so that you can start shopping early and maybe employ some of these other strategies if it's something really hot.
And you say get up early, and we're not talking about getting up 3 or 4 days before the actual opening. Get up earlier.
Yeah, just set your alarm a little bit earlier on the day of a big launch, or if there's a big sale, even looking ahead to the holiday shopping season, because Target's website, in this case, didn't really go down until later on in the day. I talked to a couple shoppers that morning that were still able to place orders 5, 6 a.m., no problems. And oftentimes, even on like Black Friday, you'll see some of the really hot sales go into effect as early as midnight.
This is interesting. You say use your phone. How does that work?
Yes, another good tip from the Target craziness was that we're hearing from shoppers who were able to access the site via the mobile site on their phones, and that's something that it can go through a different server, might have a different settings there. So even if you're noticing that the regular website is slow, it's not connecting, you might be able to get through by shopping on your phone.
Along with paying attention to demand, doing a little bit of homework before you go, this is also good too. Pre-prep.
Yes, very important. We saw, of course, Target's site being down most of the day. If you're looking for a hot item, best thing you can do is to keep with you the addresses and numbers of some of the local stores in your area, so that way at least you can hunt around and see if anyone else has it. You can be able to find it while you're on the road, but you also want to get that toll-free number for the main line. If the site is down, then oftentimes the company will still let you place a phone order.
It's a pretty tough thing to do, especially when you're talking about getting your hands on a limited number of things. Keep to a budget. How do you do it?
Well, the big thing Tuesday was you mentioned that it's a lot of fun when this kind of crowd gets going, but that feeling is what makes you really grab for everything that's on the shelf, and suddenly you find yourself buying more than you would because everyone wants that same item. So you really do want to try to shop this holiday season with a list, try to stick to it, or at the very least grab your receipts so that way you're not stuck with it if you come back later and think, what was I thinking?
Kelli Grant, you brave soul. Thank you so much for coming by this morning and sharing your tips. All right.